I'm blessed to talk with a lot of creative people, actors, musicians, writers, and authors, and all of that creativity is talked about. And the majority of the people that we share conversations with, we all agree, creativity is an addiction. We are up late at night. We are craving it in the middle of the day. We're trying to listen to it, but it wants to fight back like a wild child. It's an addiction, so treat it as such and learn to live with it and learn to listen to it. Unplugged, because we will always say yes to creativity, totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. Is it wrong to ask you how things are going? You know, because they tell us that if something bad happens to someone's life, you're not supposed to say, well, how's it going? How you doing? And because in situations like that, when I do stumble, I want to look at them in the eye and say, well, what do you think? Seriously, why would you ask me that? That makes me look like a butt, doesn't it? But the thing is that when things aren't going right, what is the proper way to lend a helping hand? Just reach in and start helping? I don't know if that's right either, because I've done that and people go, get away from me. If I need your help, I'll ask for your help. So there's so many different ways that people are acting and reacting, and we are living in this generation right now where it's okay to just free form our emotions. And then you go, whoa, okay, I'm going to back it off. What about you? Are you going through that? Have you experienced that? How do you deal with that? These situations where it's like, I want to lend my compassion. I want to give you empathy. I want to share the situation with not others, but with us, so that we can build a better platform, build a stronger rock, to build up. And then you hear, I don't need your help. Oh. Hey, it's Arroe. This is the Daily Mess, a chronological walkthrough in everyday world. I am a daily writer. I am a people watcher, a silent wolf. And what I mean by that is that I will sit in the underbrush of a tree and I will watch and I will take note. And it's not that I'm being a spy or I'm being a weird guy. I'm just being me, because there's a lot of things that are happening in the world, and I just like to write about it. This is the Daily Mess. Not everybody knows. You been there? Not everybody knows. But we think we know, but not everybody knows. We are the generation of so much free content, and yet, not everybody knows. Especially when it comes to a person's age. We expect them to know, but they don't know. For 2 years, we've been hidden behind all of these COVID-19 masks, and the eyes have never told the true story. Gray in your hair means what? Not what you think, because you don't know. A young attitude is the same thing. Not everybody knows. Thank God for Google, though. Without it, I would know even less. I'm constantly searching for information. Knowing just a little bit of information keeps me in the conversation. And when I don't know, I'm not quick to back out. I find myself leaning into the conversation by way of listening. If I'm still challenged or I find no reason to believe, that's when I'll go for the digital pipeline. Not everybody knows. And when you don't know, I think it's really funny how people begin to judge you. You mean you don't know that? What's wrong with you? You don't know that? No, I know. I don't know that. Hey, can I get a get out of jail free pass, please? Because you're making me feel like I'm trapped inside something I guess I should have known, but I don't know. And that right there is probably the reason why we are so addicted to that digital pipeline, the internet. All of that content, all of those sources, CNN.com, and, you got your NBC.com, and you got your PeopleMagazine.com, and there's just so many places that we go that we just need to know. And why do we need to know? To fit in with other groups? To participate with areas that really, what are we doing here? I could have spent my time learning how to save more money instead of spending money. I didn't know. And when you get into that position of not knowing, are you embarrassed? Because I am. One of the things that has really helped me in the world of having conversations with people of fame and people of creative energy is the fact that I don't know when I go into these conversations. And I'll tell you how I was given those keys. There was a gentleman that was trying to get me to interview the author of this wine encyclopedia. And I kept turning the dude down. And then he finally came clean with me. He says, why do you keep saying no? And I said, I don't know anything about wine. That's the reason why I want you to do this interview. What? Yeah, you know nothing about wine. The majority of your listeners really don't know anything about wine. They just go and buy a bottle because it's pretty. They don't know. So that's the reason why you do what you do. You go into every conversation not knowing anything. And yet, when you get to the end of the conversation, you know a lot more than what you didn't know. It's just so crazy. I didn't know. I'm Arroe, and that's the Daily Mess.